eat in it,
and sleep in it for a week.
and sleep in it for a week.
We love to see the sun filter in,
We love to see the sun filter in,
and the stars shine through.
and the stars shine through.
We do not like to see the rain pour in.
We do not like to see the rain pour in.
After the week,
After the week,
we go back to living in our homes.
we go back to living in our homes.
Our homes are solid
Our homes are solid
and have doors and walls.
and have doors and walls.
There, we do not see the stars through the roof,
There we do not see the stars through the roof,
but we don't get rained on either.
but we don't get rain on either.
The ancient rabbis say
The ancient rabbis say
you can go inside from the sukkah
you can go inside from the sukkah
if it rains hard enough to spoil your soup.
if it rains hard enough to spoil your soup.
They wanted us to enjoy the sukkah.
They wanted us to enjoy the sukkah.
What would they say
What would they say
to people who live outside all the time?
to people who live outside all the time?
What would they say
What would they say
to people who build flimsy shelters all the time?
to people who build flimsy shelters all the time?
What would they say
What would they say
to people who have no homes to go back to?
to people who have no homes to go back to?
What would they say
What would they say
to people who have no soup?
to people who have no soup?
The rabbis of the Mishnah
The rabbis of the Mishnah
think about sukkahs
think about sukkahs
built between trees
built between trees
and on balconies
and on balconies
and even on the back of a camel.
and even on the back of a camel.
Really?
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 They say
They say
that for this 1 week,
that for this 1 week,
the sukkah should be the fixed home
the sukkah should be the fixed home
and the home should be temporary.
and the home should be temporary.
But what would they say
But what would they say
to one who has no home?
to one who has no home?
I think they would say nothing.
I think they would say nothing.
They would not want to shame that person.
They would not want to shame that person.
They would know the person who has no home
They would know the person who has no home
was not to blame.
was not to blame.
No shame.
No shame.
No blame.
No blame.
Those ancient rabbis
Those ancient rabbis
would want to talk to us.
would want to talk to us.
If your fellow is in straits,
If your fellow is in straits,
they would say, you have to reach out your hand.
you have to reach out your hand.
You have to help.
You have to help.
You have to give.
You have to give.
You have to build.
You have to build.
You have to find a job
You have to find a job
for the person who has no home.
for the person who has no home.
What would the rabbis say
What would the rabbis say
when they learn there are no jobs?
when they learn there are no jobs?
They would be shocked.
They would be shocked.
They would know
They would know
the world is seriously out of balance.
the world is seriously out of balance.
No jobs,
No jobs.
so a person with no